Fatality.
Hello and welcome to Hellish Quart. That's what you might regard as a hardcore sword fighting game. And I'd like to take a look at a couple of things that I found in the game which seem a bit weird, put it that way. So I found Marie, which is this lass on the right here with the rapier, to be a rather devilishly difficult opponent because her sword is ridiculously lethal. Like if you walk onto that or if it touches you, you're pretty much done. But when I've been playing with her, I found her attacks to not necessarily deal enough damage for the game to consider them round ending. And I want to show you this particular clip here. I understand that this game is in early access, and I don't know, maybe if the developer sees this or somebody else points it out, might help the team in some way. I'll show you this clip, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning. We're going to try and frame by frame it as best I can. I'll talk you through it, so here we go. Oh good, look, I actually stopped at the right place as well. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm actually going to drop it back a couple of frames. So what happens here is I go through for, I guess it's a thrust, and at the same time, well, slightly afterwards actually, Marie goes for a thrust as well. Now, initially I thought, well, fair cop. Her blade obviously went into my rib cage under the armpit. It turns out it's not entirely what happened. As my sword comes down, right there, it struck her on the top of the head. And her sword has actually passed my arm and my shoulder. Now my sword is very much embedded in her skull. And we now get the impact marker for her, the point of her sword. And then it glances off, passing my back. And my sword now bounces off of her skull. The game, however, decides, as you saw, that I lost that bout. Even though at no point did her sword, well, until there, enter my body. And I think that's how the game calculated the kill on her part, was her sword clipping back through my body on the way back. So that's something that was weird. And I was looking through this clip and I found something else as well. So I show you this clip in real time, and then we'll kind of walk through it. So firstly, I'd just like to say that the way the blood lands on the floor, the quality of the animation, the way it lands on the floor, I think is brilliant. Look at that, isn't that great? She comes in with a thrust, and I sidestep. So her blade has passed me, or rather I have passed her blade, and now I come round with a swing and attack her upper arm. So this is like a real full swing coming down right here, and cause what would be a massive injury to her upper arm. And you see the blood splatter as the sword passes through her upper arm right there, and then strikes her hand on the way down, or possibly the guard on the sword, but it looks like her hand from this position, and then bounces off the blade there on the way down. However, the game decided that that was not a round-ending injury. However, in other scenarios, the game does judge cuts to the hand or arm as being round-ending. It was at this point that Isabella knew she'd messed up. Like, I straight up missed the lunge, he came over the top, game over. So what we see here is my thrust absolutely missed spectacularly. I'm past him, like it didn't even go close. His sword is going to cut me in the neck right there, and somehow on the way back, right here, we can see that somehow I managed to hit him on the arm, or his arm hit my blade while it was still active in the eyes of the game programming, I suppose. This kind of rebound kill is probably going to be the reason for a number of untimely deaths of both you and your opponent. And I think it definitely accounts for a lot of the double kills that you see in this game.
Double kill.
so I definitely don't want this video to be taken in the wrong kind of light. Me sort of poking holes in it, that's not what this video is about. It's kind of like a constructive critique of something I've noticed that, I don't know, hopefully might be brought to the attention of the developers as something to address. I understand that this is a physics-based combat game, so I do understand with my sort of small understanding of computer programming that there are a lot of calculations going on during a sword fight. And sometimes those calculations are going to go wrong, and that's fine. This is an early access game. I have to admit, so far, I am really enjoying the game. I'm definitely looking forward to the story, and I'm looking forward to how they develop the characters and the fighting styles on access to you as a player. I've been very much enjoying Isabella, because the longsword I find to be a very versatile and useful weapon. I don't think the weapon is OP. You do have to learn it. I know there's sort of on some of the communities people saying, well, Isabella is kind of like the be-all and end-all. I don't think that's true. I am also really excited to see how they develop Marie's character. I feel like the Rapier could be fast and very quickly round-ending. I do find that Marie's damage doesn't seem to be enough for the game to consider it round-ending when you poke somebody or slash someone. In fact, her slashing attacks are largely useless, which is strange because she uses a rapier, which does have an edge. So it would be nice to see her get a bit of a cutting damage buff, I suppose. I've also found her thrusts come up short on a number of occasions. It hasn't, it's been a pretty damn decent thrust, but for some reason the game hasn't registered as the damage being enough to be round ending. But I'm sure the developers will work tirelessly to figure out in the long run. So far, honestly, I hate the kind of the number out of 10 rating for games. I don't think that's relevant or particularly useful. So I'm just going to say that I think the game is promising. I'm enjoying it, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where the developers are going to take it. And I don't know, maybe hopefully this video threw some light on something that I'm sure they already know, but just in case, it would be nice to do my bit to help out.